Hello, everybody. If you are new, welcome to the Carsey Show. And for all returning viewers, this is another episode on the Sunday Thoughts. And honestly, this one might ruffle some feathers. This one might get some people, feeling some type of way about who I am as a person. And honestly, I just don't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, truth is what matters. The truth will always come out, and the truth will always matter. It will be above all things. The light will always shine through. Whether that is through more unpleasant means or not. And we as a society have to understand that there is always a higher moral ground. There is that better path that we can take, and we can choose. We have that option. There is no, well, because of this and, and that, excuse after excuse for reasons to, that seem largely a freaking mystery, that we gotta pander and coddle to anybody and everybody out there. If you want freedom, you have to have a base of rules and regulations, and on top of that, ideals that society needs to hold themselves accountable to, such as everybody gets treated the same, no matter what. Everybody gets treated the same. Now, when it comes to concerns of citizenry or not, yes, citizens always the same. Now, outsiders, you have to play a different ball game to be able to, get in and be productive and follow the rules just like the rest of us. That is one clear example, in the current climate that literally makes no fucking sense whatsoever. If we want to see a successful race as human beings, if we want to see a successful nation that is the United States of America, if we want to keep setting the example, then we are going to have to return to these certain ideals. And I'm sorry to tell all these people out there that have been struggling with, the reality of what being an adult American who has responsibilities. We all have to go out there every day and communicate with one another and provide services for one another, to come home and be able to take care of, our responsibilities, whether that be family and kids, our community and the people that live within it. That's the price of, humanity. That's what we all have to do. And honestly, that is all secondary to the higher most form of our purpose in being here, man. And honestly, that is Jesus Christ. That, that is God. There is a higher order to this cosmos, and we are a part of it. And in the current climate, we're kind of, I don't know, we're kind of stagnating. It's polarized so much to where that objective is not so much clear anymore. It seems to be bound and determined by parties, organizations, whatever, you have it, that this is all a game, and we're being tested and tried to see what our reactions will be. And I know that it's easy whenever, a new situation has unfolded and it's being covered by the news and it's everywhere, and the easiest and quickest response is just to react, just blah. The first thing that's on our mind, the first actions that we take is just to react. And there's always two sides. There's always two. In that reaction is to be the aggressor, sort of like prosecutor, and then you've got like the defense, the defender. If people would truly just understand that if you take a moment, shift your perspective, listen, and just watch everything around you, all these situations, I feel personally, there would be less situations that have such a high, volatile sort of, impact. And honestly, the number of these situations would dwindle down. It's sort of like a chain reaction, where one thing triggers and it will lead to another and it will lead to another. So it just domino affects its way down. And that's honestly what we're seeing with all this, with all these activists and all these protests. Because it all started with one big event that just shifted the climate, and the people became divided and polarized against one another. If we could stop having so many people react in those ways, the defender and the aggressor, people would start finding common ground, mutual understanding. We could finally start having more progressive conversations and debates, getting to the bottom of things being handled with just cause. There would be meaning and purpose behind it, instead of what I call it is just this this childlike maturity. There's no sense in it. I mean, we've all been there. We've all lived it, and some of you currently, if you are seeing this at this age, I mean, this is just how it is for your era, around 8 to, 15, 16 years of age. Things happen to you or a friend of yours, it suddenly becomes this big prima donna episode. Everyone's all running in circles around it, trying to gather support and, a crowd to get behind to support that person. Whether you be on the aggressor side or the defender side. It always happens. We can't go around and keep crying and whining and playing the victim anymore. We will not succeed. This country will surely fall. And these ideals will fall with it. And we'll just go right back into the fucking dark ages. I can promise you that. There is only one outcome that everyone wants. Everyone wants peace, serenity, and equality, right? Everybody wants to be treated the same as everybody else. Everybody wants to have peace in their life and their communities. And the serenity that comes with it. The knowing that we can trust one another. That we can go out into society and not have that dark protective guard on our backs, that we have to always look over our shoulders and wonder if our neighbor is going to stab us in the back. And apparently my dog wants to make a cameo and say something, but she's too busy enjoying the butt scratches. Yeah. Butt scratch, butt scratch, butt scratch, butt scratch. The reason why I say you're on the wrong side of things is because we cannot sustain this lifestyle. As a country and as a society, we have to succeed. And to succeed, that means we're going to have to take a page from history where people sat as a society and as a country. We're going to have to get back to it. We're going to have to get back to those morals and those ideals. Now, I know that there's some times, in that history where it was pretty iffy. It was, there was that gray line, where, we had certain people that were, getting prejudiced. They were facing prejudices, and there was favoritism, and society was kind of, in a bind. We were out of whack. In certain places, by the way, not the entire country. But we need to take those morals and those ideals that they had, and we need to apply it to today, how we all feel about one another. If we want people of all, races and color, walks of life, you name it, if we want all of us to have that sense of security, purpose, just to live as is, live our lives the way we see fit. We need to take those morals and ideals and apply it today. We need to get back to a sense of community where people know each other and trust each other, protect one another, where you could go across town, take your kids to the park, and see someone that you at least know of and have that sense of security that they are not going to try to rob you or try to harm you or kill you. You know what I mean? Anymore today, no one goes out of their way to be that good Samaritan like they used to be. Some people that used to be stranded on the side of the road with a blown out flat tire, you used to see 6 to 12 people from the area stop by and say, hey, everything okay? Do you need some help? This and that. People would come together to help one another so that we could all progress together. It's not how it is anymore, is it? That's that kind of ideals I'm talking about. Where a neighbor was without food or water, and everyone would help spare a little bit extra that they had so that they could get through it too. And then there was that pay it forward aspect. When you did do that for that neighbor or that community member, they would in turn, pay it forward. It would just keep going. Everyone collectively worked together. Now that needs to happen as a society, not as, a government standpoint. The government doesn't need to be mommy and daddy. It just needs to be, the oversight, bare bones, making sure that we are represented. And we as a people have to elect these representatives dutifully and cautiously. So, that's my rant for this episode of Sunday Thoughts. I hope everything is going well. I hope you all are having healthy and happy days, and I hope that we could all stay blessed and humble. I appreciate y'all for stopping by and listening if you stayed this long. You guys are the real ones. I appreciate you. You take care. Stay safe. Peace.